Good evening. This is Luke Thomas Holmquist here at the Earthquake Forecast Center. It is 9:40 in the evening on Monday, July 26th, 9:40 p.m. on Monday, July 26th. And let's go to the forecast maps and forecast graphs. First, we're going to start with let's start with the Alaska quake here first. And we had mentioned in our last video that there would be a significant earthquake and you can see here's the graph that we had in our last video. At 2 in the morning on July 26th, there's 100% risk. And we had a 4.1 northeast of Anchorage. You can see that quake. Here's Anchorage, and here's the quake right here, 4.1 northeast of Anchorage. And that happened, you can see here at 9Z, 9 UTC time. And you subtract 8 hours from that for the Anchorage time, which is about 1 o'clock in the morning. And we were forecasting at 2 in the morning. So it hit a little bit early, about 50 minutes early. It should have hit about 2 o'clock in the morning. It hit at 1 o'clock in the morning on July 26th, right there. So that's that quake on there. We have another, actually the risk is still pretty high in Anchorage area, and we'll get to that in a minute. The other quake here, we were forecasting, we had a peak here, and you can see this is the graph from the last video. We had 1 in the morning on July 26th. We had this peak of this risk here, peaked at 50% here, and that produced a 3.2 earthquake. And you subtract 7 hours for the Los Angeles time, and it happened at 1:21 in the morning. And our forecast was for 1 in the morning. So it happened about 20 minutes after 1 o'clock in the morning. We said 1 o'clock, and it hit at 1:20 in the morning, and it was a 3.2. You can see it right here, 3.2, just north of Los Angeles. And that was this smaller peak here. All right, so let's start with the Alaska forecast, then we'll get to the Los Angeles forecast and Japan and after that. So we had the 4.1 on this peak here at 2 in the morning. And now this risk is still pretty high until the 27th, and the risk falls off. And to 9, I believe it's about 8 in the evening still, so it's about right here. So still pretty high risk across the Anchorage area for the next few hours. And then we have another peak here coming up in risk, 84% risk at 4 p.m. on the 29th of July. Pretty high risk, 80% risk for most of the day on July 29th. All right, let's go to Coalinga. This is over at quakeprediction.com. And this is that peak on the 26th. It produced a 3.2. And the next peak in Coalinga is coming up, and the risk is reaching a maximum at 9 in the morning on July 28th. And we'll go to El Centro. This is down near the Salton Sea. And the next, this is that 3.2 in Tehachapi, north of Los Angeles. This peak is coming up on 11 in the morning, tomorrow morning on July 27th, 92% risk on that peak. And then a significant peak on the 28th, right there at about 90% risk. And then at 10 in the morning on July 29th, 100% risk in the El Centro, Palm Springs, Salton Sea area. Is that risk really gets high there on the 29th at 10 in the morning. So that's another time to watch for. And the first one is at 11 o'clock in the morning, tomorrow, July 27th, at 92% risk around the Salton Sea. All right, we're going to Eureka. And this peak is coming up at 11 o'clock in the morning, tomorrow, July 27th. So we have a very high risk and expecting a significant earthquake in California, actually two could happen, one near Eureka, and we also have a very high risk near Los Angeles as far as the variance from normal. So very, very strong risk in Eureka at 11 o'clock in the morning on July 27th, tomorrow. And then another peak here on July 30th. But watch for this tomorrow at 11 o'clock in the morning in Northwest California. And then in Los Angeles, we have this smaller peak in risk at 10 o'clock in the morning tomorrow morning on July 27th, 81% risk on this peak here. This is that 3.2 on that peak there. And the spike in risk coming up, the strongest one is at 10 o'clock in the morning on July 28th. So this is for tomorrow, Tuesday, 10 o'clock in the morning, 81% risk in Los Angeles area. So we could get a 3.5 or so in the Los Angeles area at 10 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. And this stronger peak here could produce a 5.0 earthquake in the Los Angeles area at 10 o'clock in the morning on July 28th. So strong earthquake is likely to happen either the 27th or 28th, most likely on the 28th in California, and most likely near Los Angeles. And then San Francisco's forecast. We had this strong peak here on the, looks like we haven't posted the latest San Francisco, I need to put that up there, but we had this strong peak here late on the 24th, which produced a 5.4 in the Gulf of California. And this peak is coming up at 8 in the morning on July 28th as well. So we have very high risk in Coalinga, Los Angeles, San Francisco, El Centro, all very high risk on the 28th. And Eureka, very high risk in the morning of the 27th, which is tomorrow morning. So tomorrow morning into the 28th, very high risk. Look at the quakeprediction.com. Here's quakeprediction.com and find a city that's near you to see your risk level in your city or closest to your city. All right, let's go to Athens, Greece. And you can see the risk was coming down. Now the risk is starting to build in Athens, and it maxes out here at 100% the end of the July 30th. So July 30th, very high risk in the Athens area on the end of July 30th, this very end of July 30th into the 31st. And in Tokyo, where the Olympics are happening, we have a very high risk in Sendai and Tokyo. The highest risk is in Tokyo right now. Tokyo area on July 31st, the end of the 31st of July, we could get a 5.0 to 5.5 earthquake is possible. The end of July 31st into the morning of August 1st. You can see that peak comes up here, August 1st in Sendai and Tokyo, very high risk, the end of July 31st into August. All right, so we go back to Los Angeles for a quick review here and look at Anchorage first of all. Risk is still very high across Anchorage until the 27th. And looking for a significant earthquake in California, the 27th into the 28th. The 27th, very high risk in Eureka, 81% at 10 o'clock in the morning in tomorrow in Los Angeles. And the highest risk is at 10 o'clock in the morning on July 28th, which is Wednesday morning, 10 o'clock in the morning in Los Angeles, looking for a possible 5.0 earthquake is possible at that time. So please go over to quakeprediction.com and check a map, check a graph that might be close to where you live. And we'll be back with another forecast video tomorrow and an update. And stay safe, everybody. And we will talk to you soon. Please review this video and go over to quakeprediction.com for a closer view of the risk level in your city. Thank you.